out. And I think the goal coming in, especially when you haven't had as consistent innings that you're used to, it's being able to come in and attack that strike zone early.
And right off the bat, Emma Ritter is ready to go for Virginia Tech. Takes the first pitch that Tenley gives her and sends it out to center. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Virginia Tech Hokies, brought to you by Capital One. And Emma Ritter, she is their best hitter when it comes to average. 432 on the season, hitting over 400 in her last 5 games. And then she's got Addie Green stepping up behind her, a 421 average. 3 for 4 yesterday against San Diego State. A Virginia Tech team that knows about hitting, second in the nation with 113 home runs this year.
Well, and even just going back to Emma Ritter's at bat, when you look at someone like Taylor Tinsley, I mean, 67% of the time she's throwing first pitch strikes, but that's at times uncharacteristic for someone like Emma Ritter to swing first pitch. She's almost close to 50% taking. So that could potentially be the game plan here for Virginia Tech, knowing that this is a pitcher that tends to get ahead, good first pitch strike percentage, maybe potentially pulling the trigger a little earlier.
And we'll see what the adjustment is. Addie Green thought about it. They'll say she did not go. Brian Crochet is behind home plate today. We do have an umpire at every base, so a 4-person umpiring crew for the postseason. Plus, we have replay review in Pittsburgh. Runner going. Palacios trying to throw her down, but Emma Ritter is safe. It was her 26th stolen base of the season to lead the Hokies.
Well, and Palacios so good from behind the plate. I mean, she's getting out 47% of the runners that are stealing, but Ritter a ton of speed. I think, to me, the statement for Virginia Tech is finding a way to score first. In the top of the first inning, I think this kind of gives you that extra confidence.
Full count to Addie Green. And the first strikeout of the day for Taylor Tinsley, her 147th strikeout of the season.
And such a good pitch by Taylor Tinsley. I mean, this is coming in at 57 miles an hour and just dropping off the table. Tough pitch at a 3-2 count.
One down for Cameron Fagan, the second baseman, and that one just rolls off her bat, dies in the dirt, and Tessa Malaulu misses the grab, trying to make the play, but it's going to be runners on the corners.
Well, the old swing and bunt doesn't happen as often as you think. I know this is not what she's trying to do, but kind of a number off the end of the bat. Malaulu tries to do everything she can, but not able to field that cleanly. I think that's a base hit, in the books no matter what.
And that is a single officially for Cameron Fagan. So now 2 on, 1 down for Corey McMillan, the home run blaster. 20 home runs on the season. That's a Virginia Tech single season record, and 61 RBI. She has had a hit in 12 of their last 13 games.
I think the most impressive thing too is, I mean, 9 of her home runs have come in the last 16 games, and you look at 20 on the season, so it just kind of goes to show, as of late, she's someone that really has continued to elevate and get better and better and better, and that's realistically what you want to see from players, right? You want to peak at the right time just as you're getting into postseason. It's when you want to feel like you're at your best.
Hard to do that too in conference play.
So
usually your numbers go down.
Yeah.
0-2 against Tinsley. Well, no surprise too, Corey McMillan, when you look at the players in this Los Angeles regional from the 4 teams, Corey McMillan stands at the top there with her 20. Her teammate, Michelle Chatfield, the freshman, has 19. Palacios got 17 because she hit 2 yesterday. Virginia Tech trying to come out and make a statement against the number 6 seed in this tournament. 2 on, 1 down for Corey McMillan.
And this is a Virginia Tech team. When you do the breakdown of home runs and averages on pitches, I mean, they bat 291 on the changeup, and you know that that's a pitch that you're going to potentially see as a hitter maybe 1 to 2 times in an at-bat with someone like Taylor Tinsley. And out of 113 home runs on the year, 10 of them have come off the change for this team. But we all know great changeup pitchers tend to be a tough task, right? Like sometimes you have to be confident to hit that off speed and go up with potentially a different game plan. But we've seen this Hokies offense step into the box with a plan, swinging a little bit earlier in the count.
And McMillan just continues to foul off pitches. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming to Corey McMillan. It just means that the Hokies are getting more and more information on Taylor Tinsley pretty quickly here in the first inning. McMillan underneath it. That is what she does. Corey McMillan blasting it out of the park, and the Hokies with a homer. I mean, statement made in the top of the first.
And just that little momentum that you're able to give to that starting pitcher as well, right, for Emma Lemley. But when you think about Corey McMillan, this is her 21st home run, but only the 3rd that she has hit on the changeup. It's not a pitch that she's taken deep all the way, but man, she was on time with that. And I think it's the important.
And the original call is going to stand.
So the way that the umpire came out, I'm thinking that Kelly Inouye Perez was asking if home was, instead of it actually being one of the runners leaving early. With us not just having the ability to hear the umpire, sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge for us to know exactly what they are looking at. So
yeah, and to see her gesture towards the plate and then say safe, that means they were looking to make sure the runners all touch the plate.
Sometimes with those replay reviews too, yeah, you want them to go in your favor, but at times the amount of minutes that it takes to look at them, it's kind of like an ice the pitcher mentality a little bit. You're leaving them out there, it's just taking time, you're not throwing.
Well, here's Bree Peck, and just to clarify, of course, all the runners came around and touched home plate, so we're all good. 3-run homer there for Virginia Tech. The play stands as was originally called. And now Taylor Tinsley has the task of locking back in. This one hit to Malauulu, and that retires Peck. 2 down.
But that's all the swagger of Virginia Tech right there. Like, that's a typical what they're used to doing. I mean, they've outscored their opponents 90-20 in the first inning. And I mean, when you have individuals that are able to step in the box with just so much pop, I mean, the fear factor for me in this lineup, in the home run piece that they have, is huge. I mean, there's 89 home runs between 6 players. That is a different type of adrenaline rush as a pitcher at times when you know darn well that there's players that can step in the box and take you deep in a park like this with 190 fences to the flagpoles and 220 dead center. I mean, it's...
6 different Hokies have double-figure home runs. Again, they're second in the nation in that category with 114 now on the season. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Trinity Martin. She was 1 for 2 yesterday against San Diego State. And strikeout number 2.
Side of the zone. So at times pitches that are way out, getting those big swings and misses. And that's going to be important against hitters like Maya Brady.
And she will start off with Maya Brady, a top 10 finalist for National Player of the Year and the back-to-back Pac-12 Player of the Year. Capital One starting lineups for UCLA. Look at these 3 at the top. They were 7 for 10 against Grand Canyon last night. That's scary. Maya Brady had a couple of doubles. Talking to about Emma Lemley adding the drop ball, Stacey Newman-Denise spoke about that in the post-game press conference, the head coach of San Diego State. She said, I thought we were expecting her a little bit more up in the zone, and she was heavy down in the zone, and that threw off their hitters yesterday.
And when you go in with a plan, it can make it pretty challenging, of course, when you're expecting something up in the zone. And I think at times that's why you were seeing so many swings that misses on pitches that were almost looking like they were going to bounce before they hit home plate. Because to these hitters, when you're trying to look for something potentially up in the zone and seeing it down, when you see something down, you're getting those big swings and misses because it looks sweet. It looks like a pitch that you can do something with.
Maya Brady trying to do something with this pitch, but Addie Green will not let her. The catch made in foul territory for out number 1.
And I also think with Emma Lemley getting some serious help from the bullpen has taken that pressure off of needing to be that one-gun show. Like, let's be honest, this is a different time now. You need multiple pitchers in order to be successful. Good run down by Addie Green. But you need help in order to feel like you're somewhat fresh going into the postseason.
Another moonshot for Jadalyn Alchin at the warning track. Emma Renner there leaning against the wall.
And 5 pitches here for Emma Lemley. And Jadalyn Alchin is definitely someone that swings early on in the count. It's an elevated pitch just underneath it. Needed to get that barrel up on top. But man, that was close. Warning track all day. You can see it in Emma Lemley's face.
She's like, oh God, nope, we're good. Now Charlize Palacios, 2 home runs yesterday. We were kind of surprised the second time around in the 5th inning when UCLA needed 1 more run to run rule them, that they pitched to Palacios.
Especially with an open base and good amount of runners on base. She's the type of hitter right now where she's seen it well, and you know that based on the streak and the numbers and the home run pop. So this is a perfect opportunity here, Courtney, for Emma Lemley to go right at her. She cannot hit a 3-run home run right now, and if she does take you deep, hey, it's a 1-run shot, it's fine. But importance to go and attack and be smart, especially with 2 strikes. And I think you can tell, just kind of based on the pop of the mitt, even from up here, the velo seems a little bit harder going up against someone like Palacios. Whether the juices are flowing for Emma Lemley.
Time was called at the plate. A pitch in the dirt, 2-2.
And the one thing that I've seen today, out of the 9 pitches that Emma Lemley has thrown, 2 of those drop balls have been just absolute tanks down in the dirt. And one of them actually hitting Kylie Aldridge right in the mask on the bounce. So it's going to be important for her to bring that pitch up a little bit.
Palacios, it's going to stay in the infield. Cameron Fagan scooting around and finding against these Hokie hitters.
Well, I think that there has to be such a trust in your offense. Like, this is a Bruin team that we've seen come from behind and put up 11 unanswered runs a couple weeks ago against Arizona. So I think you have to take that type of mentality in, like, okay, yeah, I gave up a 3-run bomb. I'm not super stoked about that, but I have to continue to find a way to get better, especially with maybe her not having the innings logged late confidence-wise that she needs. So I think it's about getting some good pitches under her belt, starting to gain that good just momentum and trust in yourself, and believe that your defense is going to step up and they're going to find a way to score you some runs.
Yeah, and UCLA has a lot of confidence in this sophomore. Kelly Inoue Perez, the head coach, calls the pitches. And they've really rested Taylor Tinsley as much as possible. She did not play from April 26th to May 10th, about 7 games where she sat out and rested. and has been limited since her return last weekend at the Pac-12 tournament. Only a couple of innings in the Pac-12 tournament, and this is her first start since April 26th.
Well, that's why you can probably expect a little bit of jitters first inning too,
Yeah.
right? There's this expectation you have for yourself. You're wanting to play well. You're wanting to show your teammates, yeah, I know I have maybe not logged the innings that I want to, but I got you. And sometimes that added just pressure in the postseason can feel like the weight is just on your shoulder. So I think it's just about getting some good reps under your belt, taking a deep breath.
And these being her first NCAA innings.
Yeah, did not get that postseason experience last year. They had those, you know, those 50-year. They had Megan Framel last year. They had Brooke Yanez. I mean, she only had 50 innings pitched on the year last year as a whole. So her body of work coming in as a sophomore, not a ton, but I mean, man, she's mixing pitches so well. We've seen her really go to the off speed a ton today. And I think with her being able to go down and change speeds the way she has really opens up that east-west for her to be able to spin that curveball to her advantage, and that's what you're seeing her do.
Back-to-back strikeouts now, going back to the last inning. Kylie Aldridge, the catcher, steps up, and Tinsley goes inside for ball one. Yeah, they have said the last 2 weekends, Danielle and I got to cover the Pac-12 tournament, that Taylor Tinsley has been day to day. Kelly Inouye-Perez told us more confident this weekend that we would for sure see her, whereas last weekend it was a maybe. We want to see if we can rest her. We saw her for a couple of innings.
And I think the question at times would be like, how long is too long to sit out? Like if you're out long enough to be able to come in and be that sharp, can be difficult. But I also think you have to go in with the mentality of, man, we need 2 arms. Can't go very far with 1 arm. And
yeah,
KT's been carrying the load a ton for this UCLA pitching staff, no doubt about it. But her being only a freshman too, like you cannot expect her to throw every single game to try to get to Oklahoma City. It doesn't work that way. Does she have the mentality to do it?
I was going to say, I think she would like to.
She would like to, but I just think with how this game has changed, it's such an offensive game now, man, you need help.
Kylie Aldridge walks the first free pass issued by Taylor Tinsley. It kind of makes me think of, you know, last year with Stanford, they rested Nyjah Kennedy a lot in her freshman season, and Stanford was able to make it to the Women's College World Series, but there is that fine line of how much is too much where you get so rusty that you can't come back. Between the legs of Seneca Curro is going to allow Annika Rose to reach.
That was an interesting play because this ball had a lot of giddy up and a ton of spin, and you can tell Seneca Curro's, hey, where's the hitter, the pressure of speed up the line, and that is going to be an error, no doubt about it, excuse me, but that is a cue ball off the end of the bat with so much spin.
It's 2 runners. And facing Emma Ritter again, who started this game on the very first pitch of the game, a single to center.
Well, and Caitlin Terry coming from the left side, a lot of confidence, loves these types of moments.
Emma Ritter towards left. Oof, oh, man. Super deep, but foul. Hello. A big welcome to those of you who just watched Oklahoma get the win. Welcome to Westwood. Courtney Lyle, Danielle Laurie with you. Yes, this is our score in the top of the 2nd inning. Virginia Tech is up 3-0 on the host UCLA Bruins. A 3-run home run by Corey McMillan in the 1st inning is the difference, and Emma Ritter up to bat. Megan Grant on the move. 1 runner will advance to 3rd, and so it's runners on the corners now. Let's take you back to that first inning, and the
Really knowing 68% of the time she's getting ahead of us and start to put her on her heels, and that is exactly what they've done. They did not hit a home run yesterday, and that's only happened in 5 games throughout this whole season, and we knew the importance for this team today. They're going to have to find a way to hit the long ball, and that's what you saw.
Addie Green goes right back at Caitlin Terry, 1 run across, and make it 4-0 Virginia Tech. Winner of this game goes straight to our regional final tomorrow. The loser will play again later today.
And it's going to be important, I think, for Caitlin Terry to really understand you're going up against some vet pure hitters. Like, these athletes are stepping into the box with a lot of home run pop, a lot of confidence, a lot of reps under their belt, and a team, quite frankly, that has been put in a lot of positions throughout practice where they have just gone through the ringer. So situations like this feel, I'm not going to say easy, but maybe more confident going into. And
more normal?
More normal than a practice setting.
Cameron Fagan fouls this pitch off.
So if I'm a Virginia Tech offense going up against a freshman pitcher who's throwing well, I'll never take that away from Caitlin Terry, but I'm using my experience as an offense going up against someone that maybe doesn't have that postseason experience, hasn't felt this type of an offense with the home run threat that they have. So I have that same mentality from the jump that I'm trying to do to Taylor Tinsley. I'm trying to put Caitlin Terry on her heels. So on the flip side, for someone like Caitlin Terry, it's like, hey, take a deep breath, trust your defense, and try to just hit good quality spots. Use the fact that you're a left-handed pitcher going up against a ton of lefties to your advantage.
And an easy scoop for Jadalyn Alchin for out number 3. Virginia Tech leaves 2 on, but they do force UCLA.
Team definitely is thinking about coming into this regional. Hey, we don't want that same ending that we did last year. It was traumatic, hence why they really had to kind of seek out a mental performance coach, all the things.
Yeah, and look at the hosts to not advance the last 2 seasons. There's been 8 of them, UCLA, of course, being one of those. And you know, at the start of the year, this UCLA team, as you see Megan Grant leading off the second, came out and started 3 and 4. And there were a lot of questions like, what is going on with the Bruins? Now, keep in mind, they faced 4 top 10 teams also during that time. But
that was a grind.
You know what? They flipped the switch, won the regular season and the Pac-12 tournament to pick up the 6th seed in this year's NCAA tournament. Megan Grant with a nice piece of hitting. That is the first hit today for the Bruins, and her first hit in the tournament.
And this is what it's going to be about for UCLA. It's starting to get some momentum going. I think, to me, the bottom half of the lineup needs to show up in order for them to be successful. You know what you're getting up top, but at times the bottom half doesn't have as much fear factor to me as up top. So someone like Megan Grant being able to step up and pass the bat to Jordan Woolry, one at a time type of mentality here.
Facing Emma Lemley in the circle, getting the start for the 2nd straight day. And it's a first pitch strike delivered by Lemley. She was great yesterday. Her 50th career win. Took down San Diego State. Only gave up 3 hits and 1 unearned run.
And just straight heat on the corner, man. When you're getting those big swings and misses at 70+ velo, I'm sticking to that game plan, that Bayou mentality all day. You feel it as a pitcher when you're out there, when you get those swings and misses. I'm expanding a little more on the outer half. And the one thing I can say about UCLA is they're a team that has the patience to be able to sit on the rise ball, meaning, hey, I don't need to swing at that pitch out of my shoes. I'm a good, calm enough hitter to adjust, to pick up the spin. So for me, Emma is going to have to go east and west, maybe a little bit more than normal. And I think that down pitch for her is going to be really important today. I've seen her throw that drop ball twice where they've kind of really bounced maybe a little bit too short to Aldridge behind the plate, but I think that's going to be a key for her as well.
And that drop ball going down, that's something she's added more this year. Something that caught San Diego State off guard yesterday.
And I think being comfortable going to that changeup, like that's not the money pitch for Emma Lemley. That's not something that she can throw at a 3-2 count all day, every day at those counts. But I think when you throw 70 and you're going up against a tough UCLA offense, being able to change speeds is going to be important.
Woolery just past a diving Addie Green. It rolls and bounces off the wall. Megan Grant is being sent home. Tag applied at the plate by Kylie Aldridge. And watching it live, I think Aldridge lined up in a great spot where Megan Grant still had an angle at the plate. So that leading edge was clear.
Wow, Courtney, just a good clutch defense. You see Addie Green lay out, so it's Emma Ritta that's going to have her back. But it's the relay. Everything is on the money. There's no panic. There's no obstruction. We all know that the obstruction is a thing that tends to be called, but where Aldridge was, that was money. But I also think she needs to be sent in a situation like that, too. For UCLA, a lot has to line up for that to go right.
So they give Woolery a double. And, of course, Megan Grant thrown out at home. Wow, what a play and another momentum boost for Virginia Tech.
An 8.52. How do you do?
Classic 8.52. Here's Savannah Pola. Addie Green again tested in left field. This one a little bit easier.
Definitely a different barrel feel here. The second ups for UCLA off of Emma Lemley. First inning, you know, she got some flyouts. There was one deep center, but man, you're feeling the barrel and you're not seeing a whole lot of change of speed. So we know that she goes down a little bit more than she has in the past, but I think when you start to feel those swings on pitches that give you that little bit of like, oh, they're close. You want to be able to change speeds, mix it up a little bit. And there's that drop ball. It's a good hold by Seneca Curro. Good adjustment by Emma Lemley.
Emma Lemley throwing some of her best innings this season. Junior was called for some illegal pitches early in her career. That rule change this year helped. She's also on her third different pitching coach. That's tough.
Yeah.
But she said, we surprised her last night telling her it was her 50th career win.
Yeah.
She said, I didn't know until you guys told me. But it gave credit to everybody that's believed in her Virginia Tech career and everything that she has been through to getting to this point.
Good spot.
Rung her up. First strikeout today for Emma Lemley. Courtney Lyle and Danielle Laurie with you from Los Angeles. Game 1 of 3 today. And Corey McMillan leading off for Virginia Tech here in the third. She had a 3-run home run in the first inning to put the Hokies up early on the host team, the number 6 seed in this tournament, the UCLA Bruins. The winner of this game is moving straight to our regional final on Sunday. Now, this is the first time that she's seen Caitlin Terry because it was Taylor Tensley who got the start. She was pulled in the second inning in favor of Caitlin Terry. Terry got a shutout win in 5 innings last night against Grand Canyon. And Corey McMillan, an interesting story, started her career at Radford, just not far down the road from Blacksburg, from Virginia Tech's campus. you know, you never know how are you going to translate when you go D1, when you step up to one of those major programs.
And I think sometimes you have that slight hint of doubt going in because, number one, you have to get to know everyone pretty quickly. And I think that's an important thing. Like, okay, am I going to fit in? What's it going to be like? And you start to maybe question your abilities a little bit because you're getting tested right out of the gate, especially with how this team rolls with practice and how structured. And that's something that Coach Pete DeMoore said she just absolutely loved. Like, the structure with practice and the attention to detail is something that really helped better her a lot and rather quickly. So that's something that this Virginia Tech team does. Their practices are tough.
Yeah, there's Pete DeMoore.
It's okay.
Foul ball. Eddie Cooper at first base. He's okay.
Well, it just goes to show how hot it's coming off the bat because there's not a whole lot of reaction time for Coop, our umpire, and it kind of hits off the base.
Though.
Yeah, he tried his best.
The leap was nice.
He tried his best. And after listening to the post-game press conferences yesterday, one thing Charlize, excuse me, your sister Sachel, had mentioned was just how crisp Caitlin Terry's curveballs were and how she was able to spin and spot that pitch. I think to me that's going to be the key going up against those left-handed hitters, being money with that curve.
Strikeout for Caitlin Terry. So it takes away their sense of smell, like just getting rid of different senses. And then they work with different balls. You have to let the gray ball go by. You got to swing at the white ball. And we were talking to Emma Ritter, and she said, look, I could take 30 pitches and hit. If I hit one of them, I'm thrilled.
Well, and that's what Pete DeMoore said. He said, I know a lot of times coaches will try to make that high success rate of practice. Like, you want these athletes to feel good, but sometimes we do the opposite of that because we want them to be able to show up in games. We want to make it hard.
Repack towards center. Janelle Maonio scooped it. And they certainly do make it hard.
And this was a team, too, that I was tuned in watching them play Syracuse. And that was a series that they ended up losing, dropping 2 of 3 in that series. And we talked to Coach Pete DeMoore about that. And he said, hey, we had the 2 midweek games, then we hopped on a plane, we went to Syracuse. And this was right before ACC tournament. The team just seemed a little tired. So we were able to get some good practices under our belt. And I think our team is at our best when we get those reps and we get that healthy practice in. And it also kind of gives these athletes a little bit of a rest because the midweek games are a challenge and they're exhausting. It's an all-day gig. And yeah, we need to do it to obviously up your schedule and RPI, the list goes on, but I think a healthy break's good too.
Here's Trinity Martin. Strike 2 coming in. That's something that Pete DeMoore mentioned yesterday after their win, is that if Virginia Tech went 1 and done in the ACC tournament, they did not win a game, but that gave them more time to go back home, to practice, to rest up and get ready for the NCAA tournament, and he felt like that really helped them yesterday. Strikeout number 2 today for Caitlin Terry. See the WAC Player of the Year, Ashley Treeweiler. See if she can help the Grand Canyon Lopes extend their run. First pitch by Tessa Malaulu. Out to center. And we see UCLA making the adjustments as they do.
Well, and swinging early in the count, we're seeing that. We're seeing Emma Lemley miss with a couple pitches, and this is when you need to really be able to respect the fact that this is an offense that is known to come back. They have zero fear. It's all gas, no brakes for them, and at times that can be a tough task for a pitcher.
Janelle Maonio trying to square up and bunt. Again, a UCLA team who is trying to keep a run alive this year in the tournament after going 0-2 last year in regionals. And not just on the field work that they've learned from that, but off the field work, mental training work that they've really bought into this year. You know, after last season, Kelly Inouye Perez says, you know what, it was a traumatic end to last year. We need someone to help us with our mental game, and that's where she went out and found Dr. Armando Gonzalez. They call him Mondo, and he's their mental performance coach, and has really helped this entire team take that step forward and move past last year. And one of the things they talk about is every at-bat, they were caught up in the failures of, okay, I went out there and I saw 6 or 7 pitches, but I didn't get a hit, I didn't get on. You see Mondo there. He said, let's think about it as a pickle jar. Every at bat, every pitch, we're loosening the pickle jar, whether it's for us or for our teammates. Annika Rose, no chance to make a play. And the pickle jar getting looser and looser for UCLA as they see more pitches from Emma Lemley.
Well, and this is what you're talking about from the bottom half of the lineup. Janelle Mionio has been so hot, 8 of her last 16, but more importantly, I said the bottom half needs to be able to show up big for this UCLA team. And talk about setting the table. You see Tessa Malaulu with the base hit, and then Janelle Mionio, and now you pass that bat to Amaya Brady and what she's been able to do up top. This is when you start to feel the danger zone a little bit if you're Virginia Tech.
And they call everybody in the infield. No coach out there, just the players huddling up here. The top of the order for the second time. Yeah, you get Maya Brady, who was 3 for 4 last night, 2 doubles, 2 RBI. Her last 10 games, she's hitting .531. And now she's got 2 runners on with no outs. Feels like that would be appetizing for Maya. High hopper to Cameron Fagan. And Maya Brady beats it out. Bases are loaded. I mean, she's hitting .711 with runners in scoring position.
Well, not a typical.
It just went up to .717.
Maya Brady, yeah, hit by any means. You see Cameron Fagan is pushed towards the base a little bit, but waits on the hop, and it had such high range up in the air. You want to go play it, but it's also the speed of Maya Brady up the line is tough. I don't think there's anything Cameron Fagan really could have done any different on that play, Courtney.
3 singles in a row brings us to Jadalyn Alchin with no outs. And you see the mentality set in. They're not caught up in the failures of, oh, I didn't get on, or I saw a few pitches, but nothing happened. They're learning from it, and that is what made UCLA so dangerous towards the end of the season.
Good job by Aldridge behind the plate, keeping that in front. See the defense pinched in, knowing bases loaded, a lot of speed up the line from Jadalyn Alchin.
Alchin right back at Lemley, and she'll throw home. That stops Malaulu from scoring.
And the thing is, you can't pitch too amped in a moment like this, right? Because you feel it. And you know the bases are loaded. You know there's nowhere to put her. So sometimes you can overthrow or try to put too much velo on a pitch. But it's like, hey, the deep breath and the remembering, hey, there's been a lot of body of work to put you in this position. Loose and relaxed.
This is going to stay in the park. Corey McMillan comes over, and Mionio, not enough time to tag up and go. Wow.
That's huge. That's huge. With what Palacios has been able to do, Courtney, I think that is just such a big out by Emma Lemley, especially 1-0 in the count, having to throw a pitch. Doesn't want to fall behind 2-0, and money curveball on the outside part of the plate. In enough where you know you don't want to be that third out at home.
Now 2 down for Megan Grant with the bases loaded.
And remembering her last at bat, had that big base hit right up the middle, swinging early in the count.
And Megan Grant got on to start the second inning with a single, but would be thrown out at the plate. Megan Grant does have 2 grand slams this season against Oregon and CSUN. She's 4 for 6 with the bases loaded.
It's a good spot. Fans don't like it, but I'll sit up here and say I do. I feel like pitchers got to be able to get that part of the plate. I like the spot. I like the corner, especially with it being a 2-0 count.
Cameron Fagan, 2 runs across for UCLA. Slid in the grass and bobbled it. There was just enough time for the Bruins to bring a couple runs home.
And that's a great job by Megan Grant. Hits it hard to the left side. Cameron Fagan does everything she can, has to leg it out, lays out for this, but just not able to glove it up. I think the important piece here is Chatfield knowing next play. I think if you're thinking next play right out of the gate, you potentially can get Amaya Brady at home.
Jordan Woolery way high up in the air, but McMillan grabs it and 2 left on, but UCLA has cut this to just a 2-run. Kelly Inouye Perez. And Coach, what did you like so far about the adjustments you've seen from your hitters?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, you know, the most important thing is being able to find a way to be able to at least get on the board, to be able to cut that lead in half. But, you know, we said we hope our opponent brings our A game. They clearly did, because it allows us to be able to rise to the occasion. There's a lot of game left. We're making adjustments. I like what we're doing. And, you know, the bottom line is you got to have KT and Taylor Tinsley's back right now, so the offense has to show up.
Well, Taylor Tinsley, a little bit of a rocky start, but to me, bringing in KT, man, the momentum seems like it's shifted a little bit with the lefty. What are you seeing from her?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've been a tag team all year. You know, I mean, we could have gone one way or the other, but bottom line, we knew that both of them, we're going to need both of them today. But KT's done a great job. You know, she's expanded the zone. These guys are swinging. They're free swinging. So we've got to expand the zone. We've got to come up with great pitches. She's done a great job of being able to flip the momentum. And, you know, now it's going to get an opportunity for her to be able to just get stronger through the game.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, can the momentum shift? The Bruins are hoping that Bruin magic that they have worked on, and that's been something that has really helped them, especially late in the season. They find ways to come back if they do get down.
Well, I'm going to talk Virginia Tech here. They got to put some runs up on the board. I mean, they scored in the first inning, and they have not scored since, it feels like. I mean, they
scored in the second.
They did, but to me, it's a statement when a team's able to come back like that. Like, I want to find a way to pour it on. Since Caitlin Terry has come into this ball game, it's almost like Virginia Tech seems like they're on their heels a little bit as an offense. And
in a collision, Malaulu and Palacios trying to go after that ball in the net.
Malaulu helping Palacios out. I thought the mitt came down and kind of hit Malaulu in the face. Oh, yeah, that could have been
a little clothesline action.
WWE.
The good news is Tessa Malaulu, a smile on her face as she walks back to third.
But before this inning even kicked off, Pete Demore had a circle around all the athletes and was up there kind of talking. I'm not going to say in their face because he's never that type of guy. He always just seems so calm, cool, and collected. But that, to me, is the point of emphasis. If you were a Virginia Tech offense, UCLA is swinging the bat well. They're barreling up Emma Lemley a little bit more. You have to punch back.
Michelle Chatfield out to Maonio in center.
Because the more your bats continue to go quiet, the more confidence you give a UCLA team, not only in the circle with Caitlin Terry, but offensively. Hey, it's still a 2-run ball game, so could not be more important here for Virginia Tech. Try to get the ball rolling a little bit. Bottom half of the lineup, second time through, making those adjustments.
Kylie Aldridge now the catcher. And you know, facing UCLA, I mean, it's been the 1-2 punch of Caitlin Terry and Taylor Tinsley. So you know what you're going to see in the circle. Now, just because you know doesn't make it any easier when you step in the box. But these two are the ones that have been carrying the load, both underclassmen, as Mayonio tested once again in center. 2 down.
And the numbers don't lie. These freshmen, excuse me, sophomore and a freshman, Caitlin Terry has been so great for this team, and they've each had each other's backs in moments when maybe the other one wasn't really healthy and ready to go. I mean, Caitlin Terry had to take November, December, January off, and Taylor Tinsley had to start the season logging a whole ton of innings that, let's be honest, she didn't really get last year with Megan Framo and Brooke Yanez. And there was a time after that Stanford series where Taylor Tinsley was down a little bit, and you saw KT really pick up the slack in the sense where it's just been a one-arm show a little bit. So I like that Taylor Tinsley got the ball today. But the question mark for me will be, is she going to be able to continue to get better? Was that a lot of time off, too much time off? It's tough to ride one arm in the postseason.
Annika Rose towards Megan Grant. 3 up, 3 down. And if you're UCLA, that's what you wanted. And Coach, we're seeing Emma Lemley in the circle for the second time. What are you seeing as she goes through this UCLA lineup for the second and third time in this game?
Yeah, she's battling. She's doing okay. You know, 1 pitch away from bases loaded and no outs from not giving up any runs. And so to get out with 2 in that inning was big for us.
Coach, the adjustments you want to see since the lefty Caitlin Terry has come in for your offense against her.
Oh yeah, sorry, brain fart. No, it feels like when she first came in, it was a little bit faster than we anticipated.
Yeah.
You know, so just anticipated being a little faster, and we made some loud outs last inning. So hopefully we continue that.
All right, Coach, do we get it today? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, gobble gobble.
Yes,
Hey.
there it is. Thanks, Pete DeMort.
Love to hear it.
It started in the ACC tournament, and it hasn't stopped, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. I love getting a little smile out of them.
Yeah.
Hey, makes my day.
Softball's fun.
Yeah, should be.
Don't forget.
Should be.
Interesting how the momentum has shifted, though. We saw Virginia Tech come out in the first inning. I mean, they grabbed a hold of this ball game. A 3-run home run put them ahead early, but UCLA chipping away at this lead. And you heard Coach DeMore say they had got the bases loaded last inning, were able to plate 2, got the lead in half.
Well, he's not wrong with the top of the 4th inning. There were a couple loud outs, some line shots to Mayonio in center, and sometimes that's how the game works. You can put a good swing on it, and there's someone right there. So I think it really is all about the momentum. And for Emma Lemley, being able to go out and have a good, clean inning is the momentum that this Virginia Tech team will need going into the top of the 5th inning.
Savannah Pola leading off, 6, 7, and 8 up here for UCLA. Winner goes straight to the regional final. The loser will play later today in an elimination game. Full count now from Emma Lemley to Savannah Pola. And a leadoff walk.
And the leadoff for UCLA has been aboard the last 3 innings. Don't give me that attitude over there to the left.
Taking all the nuggets. Just because we moved our statistician Jeff Muir next to Danielle for space purposes.
Nice try. I know my nuggets.
Rude. It's foul by Curro.
He was trying to give you that one. Like, I could tell he really wanted Courtney Lowell to get that one and
intercepted.
Not me. I had to sneak that one
I'm calling
in.
pass interference or obstruction.
Oh, man. Fine. I just won't pay attention to them. They're yours.
No, I'm going to have him pass them behind your back, literally.
And with Emma Lemley, we've seen her have success against those right-handed hitters when she can snap that curveball away with conviction, when she's able to really spin it with good velocity, maybe a little bit of upspin on it. The last two hitters here falling behind a little bit. A quick change of speed. That one coming in at 59 miles an hour. And that pitch is something that sets up another pitch, right? We've seen her climb the ladder a little bit, but she could potentially go upstairs at a 1-2 count, knowing last pitch she just threw the off speed. But it's about eliminating those waste pitches, right? Like, to me, that's a pitch, whether or not you thought the runner was going, but that's a pitch that a hitter's not going to do anything with, and I call it a waste pitch. So it's about being able to zone in and throw a competitive 1-2 pitch that's going to get the hitter's body to move a little bit.
What about that one?
Well, it's just change up, left up a little bit.
Yeah. Makes it a full count here to Seneca Curro.
Well, and you have to be careful because you got the bottom half of the lineup, and they're the ones that got really some good momentum going. So it's about being smart. You want to walk back-to-back hitters.
But she will. Back-to-back walks to start the fourth. So the tying run at first base right now for UCLA with nobody out.
Well, and you know the importance of advancing those runners and putting them in scoring position. If I'm on the corners, Chatfield or Bree Peck, thinking potentially maybe she can drop that bunt with none out here.
Tessa Malaulu, the third baseman. And that one gets away from Aldridge. Both runners into scoring position on the wild pitch.
Well, that at times is uncharacteristic of Aldridge behind the plate. And I don't know if it's just the way that
test season. And Lemley comes back with a strike.
Well, and you've seen her change speeds quite a bit here in the bottom of the fourth inning, knowing, hey, they've started to kind of barrel up a couple balls. So taking probably 7 to 8 miles an hour off those pitches.
You mentioned the bottom of the order for UCLA coming up big today. Yesterday, 4 through 9 hitters were 3 for 11. Today, they're 5 of 8.
Yeah, it's huge because it just gives that top half, which has been consistent and ever with Maya Brady and Jalen Alchin and Charlize Palacios.
Jammed her just past an outstretched Annika Rose. And Kirk Walker throwing up the stop sign at third. But UCLA has cut it to 1.
Well, and the defense is pinched in, and Malaulu gets completely jammed. This is a good spot. If Annika Rose is in the right spot defensively, for sure, she's going to get this. But you have to play the fact that defense is in. There's nothing you can do about that. And
finds a way for her last 4 pinch hit ABs at home. She's got Hatch on third and Malaulu on second. So the go-ahead run at second base right now for UCLA. They have trailed the whole game. Suarez past a diving Fagan. UCLA has tied it. Man, she knows her role. What a pinch hitter.
And Suarez just does such a good job at turning on a heater on the hands. Grind throws hard, but man, she is strong. She hits this right back up the middle. Another run for UCLA. We got a tie ball game.
Meonio will re-enter to run for Suarez at first. And keep in mind, UCLA has 4 wins this season when trailing by 4 or more runs, and that is what happened today. They were down by 4-0. And now you send up Maya Brady with runners on the corners and no outs. Top 10 finalist for National Player of the Year. She has been the Pac-12 Player of the Year the last 2 seasons. She's hitting over 700 with runners in scoring position. 718 to be exact. That allows the runner to advance to second on the wild pitch. Maya Brady, a player, I mean, her resume is long, but maybe one of the most important things she's done this year is be that vocal leader. Stepped into that role along with everything she's done on the stat sheet. Trying to give UCLA its first lead.
And at times being a leader when you're down can be the hardest part about being a leader. And that's what she said in the press conference yesterday. She said it at times has been a grind this year, losing some games maybe we shouldn't have, didn't have the start we wanted. But I mean, she is that type of player. The numbers are always going to be there no matter what. And I think the coolest part was her accepting the fact that I do need to be someone that this team follows and steps up and goes in the direction of, hey, follow my lead, because she's had those players, the Megan Framos, the Rachel Garcias that she's got to play with, but that older vet presence.
Towards left. Runner tags and goes, and UCLA with its first lead thanks to the bat of Maya Brady. It's the quick adjustments that make UCLA terrifying.
And it kind of looks like Virginia Tech may be on their heels a little bit, like feel that sense of home field advantage here for UCLA. And I think the one thing that they have to remember is they have a fear factor in their lineup. They're putting the adjustments there. For the pitchers right now, it's about not feeling OU's presence, or not OU, excuse me, UCLA's presence that they are giving. They're giving that vibe, and it kind of looks like the pitchers are scared a little bit, and not in a bad way, but that bulldog mentality and knowing like, hey, I'm really, really good too. Like I can execute good pitches, and you just kind of see this presence with UCLA right now where they're continuing to pour it on and Virginia Tech not being able to stop them.
Another wild pitch bumps the runner Meonio over to third. 10 wins when trailing in the 5th inning or later, 4 wins when trailing by 4+ runs, which is what was the case today. They were down 4-0 and now lead 5-4. Not an elimination game, but it's a much easier road if you go straight to Sunday than having to play again later tonight. Two to Jadalyn Alchin, transfer from Washington. She's reached on a fielder's choice today in the 3rd inning. Trying to help out Janelle Meonio at third base, and add some more runs to this newly acquired lead for UCLA. Strikeout instead by Lindsey Grine. Two down, but you've got Charlize Palacios up with a runner on third.
And it's just being smart, knowing that you do have that open base. You want to try to get ahead of a hitter like this. If you tend to fall behind early in the count, it's knowing there's no one occupying first base.
Last 12 games for Palacios, hitting .516 with 7 home runs, 21 RBI.
And the one thing for Lindsey Grine is that drop ball at times can just be a little bit too down in dirt, and that's a pitch she can get up maybe a little bit. It can be a competitive pitch that'll maybe get one of those swings and misses, but we've seen a couple wild pitches with that drop ball from her. And so to me, that means if that's the case, you've almost eliminated that pitch because it's not competitive. So then you're forced to have to bring the ball up. So that's a pitch at times I think she does need when you're going up against this offense, right? That can adjust well, hits all quadrants.
Three balls and a strike to Palacios. Palacios' numbers last 5 games, this includes today: 7 for 13, 4 home runs, 9 RBI, 4 runs scored.
And that's the pitch I'm talking about, the one that is down in the dirt. Obviously that one is an off speed coming in at 60 mile an hour, but smart at a 3-1 count to not give Charlize Palacios anything too good.
Third walk in this inning by the Virginia Tech pitching staff, but the first 2 were by Emma Limley. This is the first one by Lindsey Grine. And back to Megan Grant, who had a 2 RBI single in the third. 2 for 2 day for Grant with a couple of singles.
Well, Lindsey Grine tends to have a little bit of a higher average against those left-handed hitters. 283 against the lefties and 177 against those right-handed hitters. Interesting to note.
Laser to Annika Rose at short. But no. Emma Ritter. First pitch bouncing off the wall. Uh-oh. Tagged out at second. Thought she had time, and that slipped away quickly.
Well, one thing we've heard Kelly Inouye-Perez say time and time again is the outies that they have. Janelle Mionio and Jadlyn Alchin played that so well off the warning track. Emma Ritter tracked it, but that slight little bobble, I'm not sure why she was sent. She was out by a mile, Courtney. We've seen that happen a lot. We saw it happen a ton yesterday. It was an absolute laser to the wall, but that wall's got a lot of bounce back, and they're short fences.
Yeah, so just like that, one pitch, and Emma Ritter retired after some great defense by UCLA. Caitlin Terry had a 7-pitch inning in the 4th. Now back to Addie Green. Virginia Tech scored 3 runs in the first off a 3-run home run from McMillan, and then 1 run in the second, but have been quiet since then. It also helped UCLA's cause that they brought in Caitlin Terry in the 2nd inning.
Kind of just felt like a little bit of a momentum shift. And that changeup is a big pitch for Caitlin Terry. Kelly Inouye Perez mentioned that in the post-game press conference yesterday. Hey, that's a pitch that she's going to need. We're going to have to throw that more. And coach is calling pitches now, so at times she'll have that conversation and know that may not be Caitlin Terry's best pitch, but man, you can't get away with velo all day. You have to be able to change speeds against offenses like this, and we've seen her throw it a little bit here. It's looked good.
Addie Green lifting it towards right. Bounced it off a tree. What did the tree do to her? 14th home run of the season for Addie Green on a Virginia Tech team that is second in the nation in home runs, and their second long ball today. Game tied.
And Addie Green has been on a roll. Yesterday was 3 for 4, has a hit already today. It's a pitch right in her wheelhouse. The lefty just turns on it. Like I said, short fences here. 190 to the foul poles, 220 dead center. And another thing, too, that stood out in the post-game press conference, you heard Kelly Inouye Perez say it. She said Caitlin Terry was able to own pitches yesterday that she threw to Grand Canyon that got hit hard in the moment. And she says, I take pride in that piece, knowing, hey, I'll wear the pitches that I call, but when you miss the spot, you got to own it.
Jadalyn Alchin makes that grab in foul territory to retire Cameron Fagan. And here's Corey McMillan, who sent our first blast of the day over the wall in the first inning, a 3-run home run. She has seen 16 pitches in her first 2 ABs. Both were 8-pitch at-bats.
And just kind of even going back to the Emma Ritter, right? Like, just an absolute tank. That would have been the lead here, but now we got a tie ball game. Like, those are the little things, especially in the postseason, sometimes that can add up and are so big. But nothing bigger at times than the bat of Corey McMillan. Hitting her 21st home run of the season earlier today. That 3-run blast in the first inning was so big for Virginia Tech, and that statement that I felt like they were able to make. Top of 1.
Yeah, just adding to that single season home run record that she has set. She was an infielder at Radford, and obviously Pete Demore was like, ooh, we need your bat in the lineup, so can you just pop out to the outfield, figure things out out there? And she said, sure.
I'm not going to say it's the easiest position. To me, that's why I never chose to go out there. Infield will hurt you, but outfield will kill you.
In the outfield?
Yeah, I mean, a couple times, but I didn't love it. I think something, too, after that Addie Green home run, you could see the excitement from the dugout for Virginia Tech. It's almost like they're like, oh, okay, we can take that breath. Like UCLA has been absolutely pouring it on. We can still score. And you almost felt like they were just really on their heels. So that ignited this different just passion in that team in that moment. That was cool to see.
Full count to Corey McMillan. And she ran out of time. Pitch clock got Caitlin Terry. So that's a ball, and that is ball 4 to put on Corey McMillan.
I mean, when I look at it, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, you got a 3-2 count. Yeah, it happened, but you have an open base. She's one of their hottest hitters right now.
Now comes Bree Peck looking for her first hit today. She was 1 for 3 last night against San Diego State.
Well, and I just saw Kelly Inouye Perez come out and look at Charlize Palacios to go out there and call time, give Caitlin Terry a second, especially after the umpire initiated that ball for the pitch clock running out, then throwing another ball. It's just, hey, remember, we got 2 down, your defense has your back, and that's one thing to me that always stands out about Charlize Palacios. She always delivers the message so great where you're able to receive it and hear it, and at times you forget that Caitlin Terry is a freshman. She doesn't play like one, and it's been said multiple times behind the plate with Charlize, like, she does not act like one. That is not how we see her. But I think sometimes with the pressure of the moments, right? Like, yeah, she just gave up a solo shot. She had a lace double to the wall. Let's go out and give her a second and take a deep breath, let her know we're in her back pocket.
Yeah, just her second NCAA tournament game of her career.
Yeah, and she threw fabulous yesterday.
Shutout. Bree Peck. Off the wall by Janelle Maonio. Playing in this regional in the NCAA tournament. Jordan Woolery will lead off the 5th inning here for UCLA. The Bruins took the lead in the 4th inning, but a solo home run for Virginia Tech tied it back up in the 5th. Hokies had a 4-0 lead at one point in this game. Winner is going straight to the regional final tomorrow. The loser will play again later tonight, either against Grand Canyon or San Diego State.
I think this is an important inning for Lindsey Grine, especially team gets that solo shot, ties this ball game back up. Pitchers always kind of go out there with that state of mind of like, hey, you got me a run, now I'm going to go out and I'm going to have your back, try to have a good, clean inning.
Oh, and a good save by Kylie Aldridge. Obviously nobody on, but still, she was quick to get out there.
Yeah, she's been so good behind the plate for these pitchers, especially with those heavy drop balls that they all throw. I love it. You see Cameron Fagan at second base just constantly in Lindsey Grine's ear. Be tough. You got this. I just, that's the type of teammate you need, especially when you are only a sophomore. Lindsey Grine's young, and to hear that constant chatter is big, and it just gives you a little bit of momentum in those moments, feeling your teammates behind you. They got you. They believe in you.
When she gets her second strikeout. Well, our first elimination game will be 35 minutes after this game concludes. Grand Canyon getting off the bus, facing San Diego State. One of these teams will play 2 games today. The other one's going home. You can see that game on ESPN+.
You know, kind of sad that 32 teams are going home today.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that math? Just did it real quick.
Yeah, look at you. What was your major?
Sociology. With a minor in
being a baller.
Communications.
Savannah Pola led off the 4th inning with a walk. That's really what sparked those back-to-back walks to start the 4th inning. Really helped UCLA.
Well, and at times the free pass is just unacceptable, right? Like when you're giving up back-to-back walks to a team like UCLA, man, they are going to find a way to let it rip, and that's exactly what happened. So as the innings get tighter and the game is tied, like that's when you need to be on point as a pitcher, and understanding that giving up that free pass is just like giving up that base hit, and someone's going to find a way to make you pay for it.
3 balls and a strike to pull up.
was close.
Oh, yeah, Seneca Curro on the on-deck circle had to duck out of the way.
Another thing, too, I can appreciate about Lindsey Grind, just her pre-pitch routine. She's getting the ball back. She's doing the same thing every single time, pacing the same amount of steps, all the things. And I think at times that is so important when you get later on in games and the pressure starts to mound and you feel it, because this is a big game. This is one that's been circled in this regional since it came out. And to not allow that get to you, it's like, hey, the one thing I can control is my pre-pitch routine. Going on the 9th pitch here.
She calls for time. And Kelly Inouye Perez out of the dugout wants to talk to Brian Crochet behind the plate.
Well, and she's going to say, hey, you just called it on our pitcher and Caitlin Terry and walked McMillan, and then it's a similar situation here for Lindsey Grind, and no one's calling it. And I can understand her frustration with it. We don't have a pitch clock here. The umpires are the ones tracking it. I think it's a potential ice the pitcher mentality a little bit here as well, her coming out. And you have to love being in these types of environments as a pitcher, knowing that everyone's against you. And that's really what it is. I mean, this is home field advantage at its finest. Close to a sold-out crowd. I mean, 10 pitches, battling. There's just a lot going on. You have to love these adrenaline-filled moments. So good.
Fagan calling everybody off. Round 2 goes. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on Monday. Two down here for Seneca Curro.
This Bruin crowd is giving Brian Crochet a tough time behind the plate, that umpire. But the one thing that I always say about an umpire, when I don't notice that they're there, that to me means they're doing a good job. And his zone has been consistent from the jump. It has not changed. Good pitch. About 8 miles an hour off on that.
Slow roller to Bree Peck at third.
Game up here at 5, and opportunity here for Virginia Tech in the top of the 6th.
And we'll see a pinch hitter lead off, Tegan Thrunk. Shallow center in front of Mayonio, and she gets on, swinging on the first pitch. She was 1 for her last 13 before that swing.
And sometimes that's how the game works. A little bit of a jam job, first pitch swinging, and Mayonio is back a little bit and kind of finds Bermuda Triangle there.
Winner of this game moving on to the regional final. The loser will have to play later tonight, approximately 10 Eastern, against the winner of San Diego State and Grand Canyon. That's our next game. That game will be an elimination game, and you can see it about 35 minutes after this game concludes on ESPN+. See the Lopes watching on, waiting. Chatfield.
It's a great play.
They'll get the lead runner.
So much communication. You could hear it up here in the booth. 2-2-2 right out of the gate. Malalulu does such a good job She's in, of course, but listening to her teammates, trusting the throws on the money. Couldn't be better.
So Sarah McNally will come in to pinch run for the Hokies at first after Chatfield reached on the fielder's choice. Go-ahead run at first for Kylie Aldridge. Again, an aggressive at-bat for these Hokies. Kylie Aldridge swings at the first pitch. Luco. Saw her last night in a pinch hitting role where she was 1 for 1 with a run scored. It was her first hit since April 14th.
Umpire discussing something with Kirk Walker.
Got the lineup cards out.
It's all getting on the same page.
It always makes me nervous because I'm sure that then mine's not right. If they're on the field and theirs is not right.
You're pretty good at what you do. I think yours is right.
I'm going to be confident about it. All right, here's Maya Luco. Good save by Palacios as the go-ahead run on first base. Not in scoring position, but if she would have missed that, they could have been.
Both of these lineups are actually kind of right in the same spot. When you think about it, bottom half, getting close to the leadoff spot with not a lot of outs left in this game. Thinking about those fourth ups for both these teams with just the pop they have at the top of the lineup is dangerous. Good hack.
Makes it 2-2.
Luco's battling.
Yeah, she is.
This is where I wouldn't mind seeing a little off speed. She can command this pitch. Especially with a pinch hitter, take a little something off. I think that pitch is going to be a game changer for Caitlin Terry, especially going into her sophomore year. The ability to change speeds at any count is going to be helpful.
Third strikeout for UCLA. Had to come back in this one. They were down 4-0.
Yeah.
Able to tie the game and take the lead, but then a solo home run by Addie Green in the 5th inning. Knotted things back up at 5. We knew we'd have some close games too, because just looking at the numbers, this regional had the toughest adjusted RPI, right above Gainesville and Columbia. Aldridge tried, couldn't lay out for it.
Yeah, strength of schedule wise, looking at the teams that are here and the strength of schedule that they've played and conferences that everyone's in, this was definitely circled as the toughest one, no doubt. spot by Lindsey Grine.
Ooh, not going to get it, though.
He's been accurate on that outer half. Brian Crochet behind the plate. Consistent.
Allow Ulu towards Addie Green. One away.
Next up for UCLA, the center fielder, number 3, Janelle Leonio.
And here comes Janelle Maonio. She had a single in the 3rd inning and a run scored. Her birthday was yesterday. Got a big 9-0 5-inning run rule win.
And a lot of happy birthdays.
Yeah, they sang to her in her first at bat. Interesting walk-up music.
Yeah.
They being the crowd, of course. That's a foul ball.
Gosh, Bree Beck's been so fun to watch this weekend so far at third base. We saw her make some absolute web gems yesterday against San Diego State.
And threw a runner out at first from her knees.
It's one of those swaggy defenders, makes those plays, and it just makes them look easy.
Janelle Maonio makes some plays look easy out in center,
She
too.
does.
Remember she snagged that ball off the wall a couple of innings ago? That could have been yesterday. I feel like this game has gone on forever. It's been so intense because it's been so close. Slow roller back to Grine.
Yeah, Maonio, one of the best kind of center fielders we've seen in our game in a long time. Kelly Inouye Perez just at her reads and her arm, and just so confident in her outfield and some of the plays that they've been able to make and reads and having each other's back. And to me, I always say it, like, infield hurts you, but outfield kills you. You need to be locked in as an outfield.
Especially when Maya Brady's at the plate.
I like the breakdown of how this part of the lineup has gone, though. If I'm Virginia Tech, I want to break up Maya Brady and Charlize Palacios if I can. I don't want them to bat in the same inning. So with Malal Ulu and Maonio and those 2 quick outs.
Ooh, hard hit ball, hopping its way to center for Maya Brady, and her 2nd hit of the day.
And I'm still okay with this, with how consistent Brady has been. I mean, she's 5 for 7, has 2 doubles, 3 ribbies in this tournament so far. I'm okay if she keeps it in the yard. It's right back up the middle. And now it's just straight attack mentality. If you're Lindsey Grine going up against Jadelyn Alchin,
Alchin to the grass. Maya Brady rounding 2nd, and she'll be stopped at 3rd. It's runners on the corners. And Virginia Tech didn't get what they wanted because Palacios is about to come up. Yesterday, she said, watch what I can do in the NCAA tournament. Remember, she was hurt last year and didn't play.
and a couple times we had 2 home runs yesterday. Apo Taco to boot, a big 3-run bomb by Charlize Palacios into the.
Even though you see the 2 outs on the board, we saw last week UCLA, what was it, 5 runs they scored with 2 outs?
Yes.
Against Arizona?
Whew. I'm taking my deep breath.
Here we go, Palacios versus Lindsey Grine.
It's almost like I go an unintentional, intentional walk here. Maybe try to force her out, swing at something maybe a little antsy in the moment, even though she probably is not, and she's going to want to be locked in on a pitch she can do something with. Especially when you're down 2-0, Courtney. Oof.
First strike coming in. Pop up.
Big. That is big.
Yes,
Courtney.
it is.
Wow.
Michelle Chatfield is able to go over there tonight. Emma Ritter has been very aggressive when she has stepped into the box, a lot of times swinging at the very first pitch and making contact a couple of times. 2 singles off of that.
Well, if I'm Virginia Tech right now, the momentum from being able to get Charlize Palacios out with all that on the line, that last inning is huge. And not to mention, you get to roll with the top of the order. So to me, it's always about, hey, the momentum piece, fueling your team's fire, and that one swing could have broke that game completely open. And I still stand by saying I would have walked her if that was me. Yeah, they got out of it, and that was great. So for Virginia Tech, use that piece to fuel your offense right now.
Emma Ritter, hard hit ball to Mayonio.
So good. Like,
So good.
you can't hit it any harder. On an absolute rope to the deepest part of the field, 220 to dead center, but 190 down the line.
So now Addie Green, she retied this ball game up with a solo home run in the 5th inning. It was her 14th home run of the season. A home run, a single, and a couple of RBIs today for her. That one hops off of Maya Brady. You don't see that often, but it was hit hard. It's going to be a hit for Addie Green, her 3rd hit of the day.
Well, that had some really good giddy up off it, and it kind of looked like it skipped a little bit on Maya Brady there. It's a good piece. Jumped up.
So now the go-ahead run on first for Cameron Fagan. Fagan singled in the 1st inning, but hasn't gotten a hit off of Caitlin Terry since she entered in the 2nd.
Good pitch. Up under the hands. The rise ball. I'm going to go right back to that spot, or I'm going to really spread the zone with that curveball. Probably put it 2 balls on the outside part of the plate here. Nothing close to Fagan with 2 strikes.
Wow, but that one she's able to drop in left. And it's back-to-back hits now for the Hokies. The go-ahead run at 2nd, little insurance run at 1st.
And those are just the little things. When you get 2 strikes against these types of hitters, you have to be spot on with that location, knowing they're aggressive hitters. Even with 2 strikes, they're going to be aggressive. So we saw that big swing and miss. You don't see Cameron Fagan swinging out of her shoes often, but a couple back-to-back base hits here for Virginia Tech.
Brings us to Corey McMillan, a 3-run home run in the 1st. That one running around, so the wild pitch advances both runners into scoring position. The go-ahead run at 3rd now.
And this one just gets away from Caitlin Terry. Hard down, skips on Palacios, does everything she can, try to keep that in front, but that was a rocket down in the dirt. Pop and power, man, you can't miss often because they make you pay, and there's not much of a break.
A ball and no strikes to Corey McMillan with 2 in scoring position and 1 out. Are they going to put her on?
Well, I'm surprised that McMillan didn't unleash in that last pitch. Sometimes those intentional walks are the hardest for pitchers to try to execute a pitch out of the zone. You try to practice it, but you don't want anything too close. You also know you throw it by the catcher, it's a run scored. Double play situation here, so I like passing the bat and knowing that the free pass is the best option with someone like McMillan with what she's been able to do. So now you put Prepek in a situation, but you got to utilize the D. You want to use your defense to your advantage. That's something we've seen Kellyanne Away, Perez go out and talk to her team about. Do you have Caitlin Terry's back? Now she has a chance to roll a ground ball and try to get two.
Prepek fouls off the first pitch.
And these are the moments that Caitlin Terry has yet to experience that she gets to experience. This is a big moment here. Bases loaded, one down. This is what the postseason is all about, going through these. What's going on in your head? What are we saying to ourselves so much?
A true freshman in the circle for UCLA. Facing a hitter that's 4 for 9 with 9 RBI when the bases are loaded. Maya Brady underneath it. Everybody holds, 2 down.
Big pitch, so clutch.
Go-ahead run at third for Tegan Thrunk, who entered in the 6th inning as a pinch hitter and took the first pitch out to center field for a single. Thrunk going on the first pitch again, drops it in. Virginia Tech has taken the lead back. And they call obstruction at the plate, so count the run. 2 runs score, as they say Palacios was blocking the plate. She's arguing the throw brought her into the base path.
Well, and no matter what, 1 run did score. Yeah,
yes.
You want 2 to score, and I like that Coach Kellyanne Away Perez is going for these umpires to talk about it and review this play, and they are going.
And we have a decision. So we're being told they overturned this call because the runner was clearly out of the base path off, and they will start with Megan Grant, who is 2 hits today and 2 RBI. Winner goes to the regional final. The loser will play in an elimination game later tonight, approximately 10 Eastern, against either Grand Canyon or San Diego State. This is a game, it's been wild. I mean, the first inning, we saw a 3-run home run. All of a sudden, Virginia Tech had a 4-0 lead. Then UCLA took the lead. Then Tech tied it up, and now the Hokies back on top.
Good spot. Man, maybe one that I've seen him call earlier and not giving her that one on the outer half. Still sticking to her routine. Lindsey Grind not changing it up. Demeanor staying the same. The one thing I'll always say here at Easton Stadium, the chalk lines get put out pretty quickly there at home plate. So I don't know where the batter's box is. You don't see kind of where a corner is. You just see the plate. And sometimes too, I'll tell you, it's never good walking the lead off.
Well, that just put the tying run on, and now the winning run is Jordan Woolery at the plate.
And Cameron Fagan quickly going in, talking to Lindsey Grind in her back pocket. I saw her doing that earlier, but yeah, that's at times the tough part about those leadoff walks. But it's just focusing in on the task at hand here, trying to go in and attack. Jordan Woolry.
And Taylor Stevens is going to come on and pinch run, her first appearance since May 5th. Again, Stevens now the tying run at first. The winning run is Jordan Woolery at the plate. Woolery struck out her last time up against Lindsey Grine in the 5th inning.
Well, we're seeing a lot of balls here thrown by Lindsey Grine. This is at times when you feel the pressure cooker a little bit, the moment.
Woolery bounced it off the wall. Around comes Stevens. She gets the go-ahead to come home. Tie game. All thanks to Jordan Woolery, and now the winning run is at third.
Quite a turn of events here, Courtney Lyle. This is a game of inches from being out. Crushes off the wall. McMillan tries to play it, but doesn't play it well enough. Stevens on her horse. She is a sure thing. Then everyone vacates home, and you can see the coach is yelling for someone to get home because it was open for so long. Woolery could have easily found her way.
So they will bring on a pinch runner. Liesl Osteen is now at third. Again, UCLA has 4 wins when trailing by 4 or more runs, and that's what happened today. This is Savannah Pola at the plate with the winning run at third. The Bruins have walked it off in the 7th inning 3 times this season. Can they make it 4? Pola can! You better believe it! The Bruin magic is real! Right on to the regional final! Even though you see the 2 outs on the board, we saw last week UCLA, what was it, 5 runs they scored with 2 outs?
Yes.
Against Arizona?
Whew. I'm taking my deep breath.
Here we go, Palacios versus Lindsey Grine.
It's almost like I go an unintentional, intentional walk here. Maybe try to force her out, swing at something maybe a little antsy in the moment, even though she probably is not, and she's going to want to be locked in on a pitch she can do something with. Especially when you're down 2-0, Courtney. Oof.
First strike coming in. Pop up.
Big. That is big.
Yes,
Courtney.
it is.
Wow.
Michelle Chatfield is able to go over there